5 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. So we've signed the bills and warrants. Have you had a chance to read the minutes from last time?
Yep, they look good to me.
You all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes? I'm all set.
Yep, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. The EPA emerging contaminants. Mail. Mail.
Oh.
Is there anything that you want to tell us about that?
I didn't put it on there.
So that's this
That's
letter.
his
New
letter.
business.
That's his letter.
Oh, okay, just a letter, okay. It's on there as new business, I didn't know.
Well, because it wasn't on the last agenda, so that's why I put it on the
Okay.
agenda, so it could be voted on.
All right.
So when I read
So
this over afterwards. And
did we vote last time?
No, because it wasn't on the agenda. We just had it.
Oh, okay, so we gotta vote on that again. Okay.
Somebody said
It was a, we probably have vote, we're not doing anything.
Oh, I don't know.
But it's, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
It wasn't on the agenda, so I put it
Yeah.
on the agenda to talk about. I didn't want to get it.
It's not like we're spending or doing anything.
It
It's
just
a lot.
wasn't, yeah.
Well, so I hear, go ahead.
No,
Did just all these numbers look right to you, Wayne? I put 10 to 12 million based off of what.
So the way prices are coming in now,
I think that's what they said when they.
so it was about 2 million, so the plant, so the Manly was 1 to 2, but with the PFAS dropping and the other thing cheaper, maybe we'd get away, but there's about $1 million there, and then the other one was somewhere between 8 and 14. But yeah, so those numbers are not bad. It's,
Okay.
there's no way to tell what the heck's gonna go on.
I can't believe the way prices have gone up from when we used to build pumping stations and stuff like that. I bought the land and built the iron removal plant over on Manley Street for $3 million.
Yeah, but that.
Everything, it was everything.
Yeah, but I don't think there was prevailing rate wage back then.
Yes, it was.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. Prevailing wage, yeah. Because we could have done it for half the money if it wasn't for the prevailing wage.
Yeah, I don't know who signed that law. It's crippling. to
But
do
just,
anything.
it's just the price of, like the well drilling. It's like, it didn't double. It's like triple or quadruple the
Yeah,
prices
so
for.
I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, right. I have a price to replace the SCADA computer here. I figured I'd just do it out of budget, but it's $19,000 and $900. I'm like, all right, that's kind of crippling.
Yeah. This stuff is crazy.
So I guess I'll make the motion to send this letter, barring any spelling errors that need to be fixed. Because someone told me that I spelled designee was misspelled on one of the lines. To Governor Baker, the Selectman's office, and any other parties that we feel that we need to send it to, we need to send it to Senator Timothy.
I think we just send it off to the governor. We can notify the selectmen, but
Okay.
yeah, I think just sending it from the water commission. We're the ones looking for the money,
Right.
so.
I don't know if you want to mention, like, we're an enterprise fund, so when, like, the government gives the town money, it doesn't come to us, it stops up there, and they spend it however they want, with their fancy desks and door locks and stuff, but it doesn't come to us, and I don't think the legislators know that there's a distinction between an enterprise fund or a town one, because the money doesn't get to us, it's.
See, DEP wants us to be enterprise, all towns aren't, because you can, the way they look at it, when a town doesn't have the money, that an expense is really big, they have to go to taxation to get permission to spend the money. When you're an enterprise fund, there's no 2.5.
Right.
So DEP likes it because you can meet public health issues quicker without running into 2.5 regulation. So, but not all towns are. And years ago, we started out as an enterprise system, and then they switched over, and they were just running, we would charge for water, but we'd collect about, at that time, our budget was $100,000, but we'd only collect like $25,000 in revenue, and then the rest of it came from taxation.
Right.
And the reason why people liked it back in, say, the 60s and 70s was because they could write the cost of their water department off on their income taxes. But when we hit 2.5, and that became part of the law, and they were regulating that we had to build treatment plants and stuff like that, the town was making hard choices whether they're going to support the schools or whether they're going to put the money into water, and water just was always falling short. And that's when we decided we had to go back to the enterprise fund, where we just supported it ourselves. But when you do that, now you set the rates to meet your expenses, and you can't, the townspeople still have the right to vote at town meeting and spend their taxation money on the water department. But they don't usually do that. They usually will borrow the money for short term, like for a month. When, say we haven't collected the money's coming in, so they'll lend us $100,000 because we didn't collect the money yet. But the next month, then we have to give it back to taxation as soon as it comes in.
Right.
So we're responsible for setting the rate to cover our bills. That's why we're always looking at how much projects are going to cost, and watching the water rates, because we got to make sure that our water rate is high enough to cover what we're spending.
Okay.
It's tough.
So this is the error right here, in the second line, I designate spell wrong.
Let me go fix
Yeah, if you don't mind.
it. It's just a basic need.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna have an issue making revenue because they're running the sprinklers.
That's great.
See, that's always, it's a catch-22. If we put a water ban on, then all of a sudden our revenues go down. So,
So we had about 7 days of 900,000 gallons. The past 2 days have been 1 million. And I'm sure today is.
and when I was running things, I always try to keep extra wells so that I could produce as much water as I could, because it just gave us more revenue. When you're in the water business, I always felt that, you know, if you're selling donuts, you need to make donuts or you're going to go out of business. The same with water. If you don't have the land and you don't have the wells, how are you going to have the revenue to expand the water department if you don't have the revenue?
Right.
And especially when you're an enterprise account. But DEP, their attitude is they want you to be an enterprise fund, but they also limit you. They don't want you to build any more wells than what you absolutely need for your population. They don't want any extra. And then you struggle to try to keep up with growth because you can never get ahead of it.
Right.
Just like they told us we couldn't buy the Rotary Farm for future water supply because they didn't approve it. But we bought it anyways, but they told us we couldn't.
Yeah.
But we own it, it's there, and if we need to tap it, we can now. So, you know, it's just, sometimes you have to just disagree with them and do what you think's best for the community, and that's it.
Yeah, we're set up for the future now.
walked away from it because I was just working here or there at the time. Bill Nickerson said we wanted 500 gallons or more, but now we'd take 300 gallons if we could find it. And now they built houses all over it. You can't buy it now. You'd have to tear the neighborhood down. Or it's gone. And it was 300 gallons a minute and crystal clear water. So before land gets developed, you gotta grab it.
Right.
So that's why years ago, I bought everything from the Brockton line, all the woods from here, all the way over there. What do we got, 200 acres?
There's a lot out there.
Yeah, some of the people were saying I was gonna bankrupt the town. We already got it paid for, we did it with water revenue. It's all paid for. We borrowed the money to buy the land and it's all paid for.
So I'll make a motion to sign this letter, and I would like to see it on the water department website.
Yep, we can post it up there. Just need to scan it.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
So there's the corrected one. So an old business, station 1, 2, 4, I see we got, and then pilot study
Yeah.
design for the
Yeah, they wanted that sign so that they could, I haven't heard anything.
$190,000. That makes it pretty almost what? Anything you want to talk about on that, or is it just the good works, we're signing the contract?
Yeah, they just wanted the contract signed so that they can continue on.
Okay. Station 3, Tatter and Howard Engineering Pilot Study, PFAS.
They know it's funded, but I haven't heard anything out of them on that either.
Okay. Update on the replacement well?
I'm chasing them like crazy to tie it in.
They still haven't done that?
They have not done it. It's just tying it in, buying a metal box and putting it in the ground and splicing the cables.
Huh. So who do we, is it the engineer or is it the electrician that's holding this?
Well, I don't want to short anybody, so I keep, the last I heard, they asked for something about the box. Just buy, I'll go out and buy the darn box. Can't be more than a couple $100.
How's the water holding up, the wells?
We're drawing down to 8 feet. Manly's beginning to draw down. We're drawing hard. It's,
Yeah, see, that's what
because it runs 24/7, so that one doesn't get to cycle out.
Manley Street.
Yeah.
See, the iron removal plant seems to work better that way when it doesn't, when it runs a lot, but it's not good for the wells.
No, we're running hard on it.
That's when the pumps burn out too.
Yeah, I'm on their agenda for October. I told them beginning of October 1, just come out. Put me on the thing, I want it rehab.
Yeah.
I can't hardly wait to see what that costs. That's why I probably won't do the SCADA computer, because I don't know what it's gonna cost for the well rehab.
The SCADA that you need, what'd you say, 19,000?
Yeah.
No, is that software, hardware?
That's hardware, software, and him doing it. So I know the licensing for the software is expensive.
So what's the problem with it? Is it just getting
So it's
old?
getting old. I mean, if it dies, then it's dead, and I'm without it, and we're running manually until I can, it might take almost 2 months to get a new one in.
Yeah, well, that's so good.
So that's
So-
why I don't wait for it.
So for 19,000, why don't you just do it anyways?
I can, I'll look at my numbers hard and see, and then we just,
Well, if you need to, something like that runs all the water system, we can't be without it. So,
I put it back to back, because there's this one in Manley Street.
because we could spend $19,000 in overtime really
Oh,
quick,
yeah.
try to run things manually.
Guys would be happy,
Yeah. What do you think?
No, it sounds.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's the automatic computerization of the tank controls and the pumps turning on and off when they need to. I mean,
I'm gonna have.
you can't run a water system without it.
No, he's having issues getting like, hopefully everything stays going, but he's having issues getting like PLCs. Those are almost like a 9-month timeline out to get them, so hopefully all of us, I upgraded all of ours except for Manley Street, those are the old ones, so hopefully he's got enough old ones hanging around.
Well, if it's $19,000, that's nothing compared to the headache that it's gonna cause you in the end if we don't fix it, so. And if we run short, when you try to clean the well, we're gonna have to come up with some more money because the well has to be cleaned and we gotta keep the automatic system running so that the switches are turning on the wells and shutting them off and stuff like that. You can't have people sitting around, timing them out.
No.
All right, so the replacement well, we discussed that. Asset management grant?
So then, whenever you're ready, like I said, what they told you, the rates that they discussed, that's it. That's what's going in that study. For them to come back for free, that's a good thing, that they'll sit with you and discuss your rates. But ultimately, I think they told you that the rates are really up to you and how you want to handle them. It's not, but they'll come back with their spreadsheets and they'll sit, and that's actually a good thing, because like I said, if you did a rate study, that's $25,000. So for them to sit in here with you.
Yeah, well, why don't we have them back in here? Can we hold that off to September, say, when we?
Yeah.
Let's do it like first part of September. When, everybody's back and.
Yeah, that's not a problem, but I mean, at the minimum, you should nudge the rate just to keep up with inflation at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I know you don't want to.
No, we have to, there's no doubt about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So. Raise the rate and use less water. Walnut Street tank.
So you just signed the thing,
Yeah.
they just wanted the official thing, because I think the only thing we had signed up until that point, actually, it did get signed, was for them to do the water study itself, not the rest of it, so now that's the whole thing.
Okay. Anything on Lincoln Street?
I have not heard nothing's going in it, there's nothing.
Last meeting, the fellow was coming in, he didn't show up. Whatever happened with that,
that was
Pleasant Street?
Hargraves.
Oh, he's on vacation again, I forget when he said he's gonna show up.
Oh, so.
When he gets ready, I know he has the electric, they ran his electric poles out there, so he has electricity to his site, but I'm sure once he gets ready, he'll make an appearance.
Okay. Anything from Frank Gallagher?
No, I have not heard.
From Messina?
No, I haven't heard of Pete.
And water rates, we just discussed that, we'll address that in September.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to make a small adjustment to cover before that, or?
So we're in August, so this is, so people will get hit with these bills and they'll slow down a little. But we're gonna go through this very hot week before they see their bill, unfortunately, so. Next week will be, this week, it's gonna be tough because we're forecast for 5 90-degree days. It's, hopefully we'll get a good downpour, but I mean, we got the torrential downpour the other day, and people were watering this morning. I'm like, the only thing you're doing is growing mushrooms at this point. You know?
Well, you got them on automatic, that's why.
Yeah, I know, you're supposed to put a rain thing in, not under your eave so it doesn't get hit.
How about, next thing on the list is solar, anything on that?
So the only thing I can see, and I think I sent you guys in my update, that you may wanna talk with a firm so you have a price in hand. Because I don't think they're gonna just give you money, and when the rounds are coming out, in order to apply, you have to tell them how much. So you may wanna talk to a
We
firm
already
or two.
designed a system there with, Stantec. Stantec did a,
I don't have anything on it, so,
well,
and the prices may have changed since then too.
I'm sure. But I mean, the amount of KW that we need.
I mean, I don't think you
would
have to
change.
spend any engineering money. I think if you call a few of them firms for the business,
It costs us
they'll do most of it on their own. They're just gonna ask you for your electric bills wherever you wanna put it, and then they'll calculate it and they'll run. Like when I did mine, I'm sure when you did yours, they show you the solar thing, they tell where the sun's hitting and the azimuth or whatever it is, and,
Yeah,
you
well,
know, they,
we're kinda unique, though, we own enough land here, we could just cut the trees down, and we're gonna be heading direct south, you know, without any problem at all.
right, so
Just take the trees down.
I don't know where you wanna go with it. But like the grant, to apply for the grants, you've gotta tell them how much. You can't say, well, give me 2 million and we'll see how much it costs. It's not, you can't wing it.
We spent $10,000 for the figures.
Right.
And the design, how many panels we're gonna need here, how many we're gonna need at Northern Avenue. And then I think we had panels on, up by the tank, not Spring Street, the other one, Walnut Street. I think there was, because that didn't take a lot of electricity up there.
No, that's, yeah, because the only thing you're running there is the UV.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
What's the name of that firm that we already
What's
talked to?
that?
What was the name of the firm we already talked to?
Well, it was engineering.
Or was it engineering and Stantec?
Stantec?
That used to be our engineers.
They still around?
Did they become some, or was it they became Stantec and they were something?
They
before?
were Dufresne Henry
Gotcha.
before that. And then they got bought out by Stantec.
What if they have those records?
That's what I was wondering, if they still had them, they might have them.
Yeah, because I've never seen any copies of anything here.
Why don't you just give Stantec a call and see if they have the amount for the solar. It was done quite a few years ago now. But I imagine our KW hasn't changed that we use, because they took it all based on the amount of electricity the pump stations were using. But we have to build all ours on prevailing wage.
Yeah.
You can't build it, you know, like you and I did, you know.
Yeah.
All right, well, keep plugging along on it, sooner or later. I wish we had got it the first time around when they were gonna give us a third of the money.
Right.
Job posting, any luck on that?
It's not posted. I got a few moments early in the week and I went looking to see the posting itself. It's not out there. So I sent somebody an email and I asked, is it out there? Sure it is. I said, no, it's not. He said, it's not out there. So I told her we want it posted continuously until we hire somebody. It's still not out there. So I don't know what to do.
Where was it posted? Indeed?
Yeah, I don't really like Indeed, but they're the ones you hear more. I mean, you don't hear much about Monster anymore.
Right.
They still exist, but
When Akabog is back, we'll have him, talk to him up to the White House there. And
yeah, because I'm not,
See what-
anytime I say anything, then suddenly there's an uproar.
yeah. And when I go up there, I'm harassing somebody. So, Beacon Park, nothing on that.
He's off that should have come off.
Yeah,
He's all
I
done.
should have taken that off.
I had a heart-to-heart with him and discussed and told him the pros and cons. It's done.
Anybody else got anything else that's come up this time
Let's see, it's not-
since our last meeting?
No, lead and copper, I'm plugging along, I'm on my this is the third or fourth letter to people, so hopefully we're getting closer. We may be closing in to like down to, I just need 5 residents to help. But they,
You only need 5 now?
well, no,
Or
5 out of
more.
the 20. Yeah,
Oh,
5
okay.
more out of the 20. I mean, I can't force them, and even like if I have to register new houses, I need residents to allow me into their house to say that they're actually gonna do it. You can't just force your way in.
Right.
It's not, so here's another thing. So a lot of things trigger your lead and copper back to the beginning and take away your waiver. And I'm gonna fight them on this, but when that well comes online, that may trigger us back to quarterly sampling again at 40. And I've already told them, there's no way I'm gonna get 40 out of the people in town. That I'm not gonna get it.
Right. See, they get 20, how are you gonna
Right.
get 40?
So we're not changing our corrosion control at all. So even if I have to go to Jim, the head guy himself, and say, listen, nothing's changing in our corrosion control. It's just a well coming online. The other thing that'll trigger it is Manley Street, because it almost triggered it. They, oh, you did something to me? No, I did not. So they let me stay at the 20. But once again, and even there, that's not changing our corrosion control. It's
Or
already
just
in
tell
place.
them, it's a replacement well, it's
Right.
not, and we're replacing a
And
well,
making it-
and it wouldn't have taken so long if it wasn't for them.
Right.
They're the ones who drag it out, so.
There
That's
are a lot
all.
of things that trigger, like, and when they do it in 2023,
Just tell them
it may
we're
restart it again when they come up with a new rule.
just tell them we're not gonna do it. You know, that's foolishness when they cause the delay.
Right.
And then because there's a long time span, now they're gonna put you under different regulations because they're gonna consider it a new well instead of a replacement well. When all it is a replacement well, it took a long time because they dragged us out.
Yeah, it's not
So just ignore them, just tell them, no, we're not doing that.
wrong, but I'll
That's
I'll
what
try
I used
to find a
to do.
workaround.
That's all right, just do it, and then they just call you an asshole, and that's the end of it.
Did the increase abatement to the basic charge help at all?
No, I don't know. It's $55. Like, it's not, somebody else said maybe next time you get cards, give them, it's $55 cash instead of anything to get them to trigger on the first one. But I hate harassing, but we're so close now. Hopefully I can close the gap, even if I have to beg people. I'll bring the Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee out of my own pocket. Trying to close the gap. And the other thing is we've had an anomaly with so the Badger changed the meters to the new CE meters, so some of them, once they get in the system, fail to start reading. So there may be a few bills going out with this bill. We're trying to find them all now to see and discover what's going wrong when they get entered into our system. So we haven't found that out, but it just came to light recently, so.
And I have called into, the Badger system, the Badger locations.
They have people that specialize in various aspects of their metering system.
What's this about? The census, we're requesting the start date, projected completion date, total cost estimates, and the monthly figures on the value of the work done from the start of construction through the previous month. This is for the federal census. What does that have to do with counting people?
I don't know.
Is it spam? Is it spam?
This is from the United States Department of Commerce, United States Census Bureau.
We haven't done anything, or we haven't completed anything, so I don't know how we give them any information.
Where do they get the information that they need information? I don't understand that.
Who's it addressed to you, as superintendent or as water commissioner?
It says my name on it,
Hopefully it's this commission or just this.
but I don't know if that means, no, superintendent, so it should have gone to you.
I'll look at it. It may they find the circular bin, which is now
Okay.
rectangular.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
and this one here, I think I signed this one there already. Oh, I didn't sign it. The minutes. All right. Do I hear a motion
Wait, hold
to?
on one second.
Oh,
The next meeting,
oh, yeah.
It's the first.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
August 3rd.
remember it being like, I don't know, playing a game over
I said August 1st.
there, or?
Are you all set?
Yeah, I'm all set.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll second that.
No, no, it's-
All in favor?
Aye.